You think that people would have had enough of silly love songs? I look around me and I see it isn't so. Oh no. Hey fans of high quality entertainment, I'm not quite ready, but today I will be doing the top 10 classic rock songs from 1972 as soon as I'm done showering and putting on some clothes. Thank you. I love you. Hi fans of high quality entertainment, I apologize about that. I don't know what happened there. It's embarrassing. So today it's 1972, and I did, just for a short while in my community, I asked if you want me to continue doing the 70s for now or do some years from the 80s, and right away it was like 80% if you wanted me to continue with the 70s, so I'll stick with that. I'll do all of the 70s, and yes, I'll do some of the 60s and the 80s and maybe some of the 90s, we'll see. So, for 1972, there were, as usual, a lot of great albums that didn't make my top 10 list. And as I always say, these are not what I consider the best in my top 10. I consider these my personal favorites. So, here we go. Some of the great albums that didn't make my top 10 include Arthur Brown's Kingdom Come, their second album, Neil Young's Harvest, Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick, Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street, Black Sabbath 4, Lou Reed's Transformer, Deep Purple's Machine Head, Miles Davis On the Corner, Stevie Wonder, Talking Book, Steely Dan, Can't Buy a Thrill, T-Rex the Slider, just making sure it was in my top 10, Roxy Music, their debut album, Randy Newman's Sail Away, Frank Zappa's Waka Jawaka, Nectar, A Tab in the Ocean, which I don't have yet, so maybe a year from now it would be in my top 10. Paul Simon's debut album, Joni Mitchell, For the Roses, Elton John, Honky Chateau, Rod Stewart, Never a Dull Moment. I love that album, but just I couldn't cram it into my top 10. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, their debut, Mott the Hoople with All the Young Dudes, Son of Schmilsson by Nilsson, I love that album, and Alice Cooper's School's Out, which I love. So my personal top 10 are from 1972. So I don't have the original cover because I got this box set, and just the way it's made, it's kind of annoying that it doesn't have the actual album covers, but inside is sort of showing it. Humble Pie's Smoke is at number 10. You know, 30 Days in the Hole, Hot and Nasty, The Fixer, just so many great, great songs. And this is when Peter Frampton had left the group after live performance at the Fillmore, and Clem Clemmenson joined. And they made an excellent album. That's number 10. Number 9 is Beatles related, and I don't think it would be on too many's top 10 list, but it's on mine. It is John and Yoko's Sometime in New York City. And yes, I do love the songs by Yoko Ono on this. I know a lot of you out there don't care for her music, but I really do like it a lot. I love it, actually. So that's number 9. And hopefully this is the year that it finally gets remixed or remastered and comes out as the box set. Number 8 is what I consider the best album of the albums I've heard by them. It is Uriah Heep's, bit my lip, Demons and Wizards. Number 7. This comes from a box set, but I guess when it was originally released on vinyl, this is the way it appeared. Captain Beefheart, clear spot. Just a clear plastic with a little insert here. And I think this is a great, if you want to get into Captain Beefheart, I don't suggest you start with Trout Mask Replica, because you'll likely hate it or dislike it with a passion. But this one is more commercial. It's still, a little bit of zaniness from Captain Beefheart, but it's really, really good. And so I suggest, if you want to check out Captain Beefheart for the first time, check out the album Clear Spot, because it's superb. Now, number 6, I think, would be in the top 1, 2, or 3 for a lot of you, but it's not my favorite album by this band. It is for most people, because once again, kind of similar to George Harrison's All Things Must Pass, which I love, but didn't make my top 10 albums list for 1970. This album, when it came out, I was still young, and so I couldn't really buy a lot of albums. My older brother was buying them, so it just didn't connect to me at the time like other albums did that I actually bought with my own money. Not to say it isn't a superb album, because it is, but I have other favorites of this band. So I'm talking about
Close to the edge, down by the river.
It's excellent. Don't get me wrong. It's a 10 out of 10. Now, another prog rock album that would be right near the top with Close to the Edge for a lot of you prog rock fans. And it's number 5. 1, 2, 3. I just want to make sure here. Yeah, 5. Probably, well, except for their live album, it's my favorite album by Genesis, Foxtrot, with the awesome Supper's Ready. But, Watcher of the Skies is superb, and Timetable, Get 'Em Out by Friday is probably my least favorite on the album, but it's still great. And Can Utility and the Coastliners. And Horizons on side 2, I kind of take that as part of Supper's Ready, but it is a separate track. Number 4 is mainly an instrumental album. And the other one almost could have made my top 10. It took me a while, but I do appreciate it more, Waka Jawaka. But The Grand Wazoo is definitely number 4. I've loved this album for years and years and years. And along with Hot Rats, it's how I kind of got to appreciate jazz rock, thanks to Frank. Number 3 would be a lot of people's number 1 or number 2, but it's still right up there for me. David Bowie and Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Yeah, Suffragette City, 5 Years, Moon Age Daydream. I would say the only song that I like a lot, but I don't love, is It Ain't Easy. And of course, Rock and Roll Suicide, one of the greatest closing tracks ever. So that's at number 3. Now, number 2 actually came out under a different band name, and they changed it in 1972 and re-released this album. But I'm going to go with the original. So this is not Sparks, it's actually Half Nelson. If I remember, I'll have the 1971 Half Nelson album cover here. If there's nothing here, I'm going to be so embarrassed. Yeah. This album was so ahead of its time, produced by Todd Rundgren. There's even like a song, Fa La Fa Lee. It sounds like new wave music back in 1971. So, yeah. Number 2, Sparks, actually Half Nelson, later to be called Sparks. And number one of my all-time favorite American bands, and one of my all-time favorite debut albums, Blue Oyster Cult, with their debut album, simply called Blue Oyster Cult. And if on Rich Strickler's channel, I've mentioned this before, but hoping to get more people watching us, we do a CD exchange, and in the last video that was posted yesterday, I gave Randy Blue Oyster Cult, so go check out that video and find out what he thought of Blue Oyster Cult. And that is it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.